All right, let's dive deep into this Eagles talk. The offseason is creeping up faster than most fans expected, and here we are, almost in February. With so many questions still lingering over the team's future, one of the biggest puzzles right now is the offensive coordinator position, or more accurately, the lack of clarity around who will even step into that role. The season is practically wrapping up, and yet the Eagles are still navigating this critical hire, which makes it difficult to really break down the draft or speculate about the next moves with full confidence. Everything about the offensive side of the ball hinges on this decision. And as of now, there's still more uncertainty than answers. The team has been conducting interviews for multiple candidates, and the most talked about name recently has been Sean Mannion, a quarterbacks coach out of Green Bay. His NFL experience is mostly as a backup quarterback, having spent around 9 years on various rosters, including a stretch working with Jordan Love for a couple of seasons. While Mannion certainly has football knowledge, there is a glaring concern. He has no experience calling plays at the professional level. That raises alarm bells for many fans who fear this could mirror past missteps, especially when looking at what happened with previous coordinators who lacked that crucial play-calling experience. There's a lot of apprehension that bringing him in might just create another scenario where the head coach or other staff end up carrying most of the offensive decision-making burden, which is exactly what people are trying to avoid. For many, the conversation quickly turns to comparisons like Kevin Patullo 2.0 or Phil Brian Johnson 2.0. These are coaches who never really had the opportunity to demonstrate their abilities in a play-calling role, and fans worry history might repeat itself. There's a vocal concern that the Eagles are essentially giving multiple interviews without making any solid offers, which signals indecision at the top. Reports suggest that while the team is speaking with a long list of potential candidates, actual offers are either non-existent or slow to materialize. This cautious approach has some fans frustrated because it feels like the franchise is spinning its wheels, giving time to interviews without concrete moves to secure the right talent. Yet, amidst all the debate and uncertainty, one name is starting to emerge as a potential frontrunner: Matt Nagy. He has a strong connection to Philadelphia, having worked in the early 2000s alongside Andy Reid, and he brings actual play-calling experience to the table. His time with the Bears is notable, with at least 1 year where the offense was a top 10 unit, which demonstrates his ability to lead a productive attack. Even though the following season did not maintain that level of success, it's important to consider the context. Working with young quarterbacks like Justin Fields can present challenges, but it also speaks to his experience in developing talent and managing a complex offense. For Eagles fans looking for a safe, steady option, Nagy represents familiarity and reliability. He knows the city, the organization, and the kind of culture Andy Reid has instilled, which can provide stability in a season of transition. Other names are also circulating, particularly now that the Broncos have made coaching changes. The Eagles have requested an interview with Davis Webb, the passing game coordinator and former backup quarterback with the Giants, who contributed to some innovative concepts in Denver. Webb is intriguing because he represents a younger, more innovative approach. His work in Denver shows he can develop creative schemes and make use of the personnel available, which could be exactly what a team like the Eagles needs if they want to take their offense to the next level. He's someone who's been recognized for his ability to get the most out of his players, which is a trait highly valued in Philadelphia. Fans are keeping an eye on Webb because while he's less known than Nagy, his potential to shake things up is significant, and that makes the upcoming interviews with him an essential watch. Then there's Tanner Estrogen from the Jets, whose firing has drawn a lot of attention and debate. Despite the struggles in New York, most observers agree that his offense suffered more from a lack of talent than from coaching deficiencies. He dealt with a revolving door of quarterbacks, underperforming receivers, and inconsistent line play. Yet he still managed to implement schemes that created opportunities for his players. Many believe that if he had the right personnel, he could thrive in a new environment. The Eagles' ability to bring in a young, innovative mind like his could provide a fresh perspective and potentially elevate the passing game in ways that a more traditional hire might not. It's the kind of gamble that some think is worth taking, especially when considering how vital creativity and adaptability are for modern NFL offenses. While the offensive coordinator search dominates much of the conversation, the recent news about Brian Daboll choosing the Tennessee Titans over the Eagles adds another Layer of complexity. Daboll's decision was reportedly influenced less by the personnel in Philadelphia and more by relationships and existing trust. The connection with Robert Saleh in Tennessee appears to have outweighed the potential benefits of joining forces again with someone like Jalen Hurts or Nick Sirianni. This highlights a challenge that the Eagles face in attracting top-tier talent. Management, staff dynamics, and internal structures play a significant role in these decisions. The presence of certain coaches like Kevin Patullo and the existing control he may exert has raised concerns that it could deter high-profile candidates from joining the team. Kevin Patullo remains a polarizing figure within this discussion. The controversy around him is less about his individual capabilities and more about the level of influence he holds within the staff. There's a perception that he has too much sway, which could limit the autonomy of a newly hired offensive coordinator. This situation complicates the search and could be a reason why certain candidates might hesitate to accept a position in Philadelphia. Fans and analysts alike recognize that while the Eagles run a tight, disciplined operation that delivered a Super Bowl title, there may be a need to adjust internal dynamics to ensure flexibility and attract the right coaching talent. The balance between maintaining a successful structure and introducing new ideas is delicate. Philadelphia won the Super Bowl by running a disciplined, well-managed ship. Yet true innovation sometimes requires loosening the screws, allowing fresh perspectives to emerge, and giving new hires the room to implement their vision. The tension between stability and innovation is central to the conversation around the offensive coordinator search. The team must weigh the security of hiring a known, safe candidate like Matt Nagy against the potential upside of bringing in a younger, more inventive coach like Davis Webb, or even exploring possibilities like Tanner Estrogen, whose approach could invigorate the offense and energize the players in new ways. Ultimately, the situation remains fluid. Interviews are ongoing, discussions are happening behind closed doors, and the Eagles management is clearly taking their time to weigh all options. Fans are watching closely, aware that the choices made in the next few weeks will significantly influence the team's offensive identity for the coming seasons. Whether the Eagles opt for the reliability of a veteran with experience in Philadelphia or the potential explosiveness of a rising offensive mind, the outcome of this search will be a defining moment for the franchise as it navigates the offseason, preparing to build on its Super Bowl success and position itself for continued excellence. The draft strategy, player development, and offensive philosophy all hinge on this pivotal hire. Every interview, every evaluation, and every decision will ripple through the organization, shaping the Eagles' trajectory for years to come. Fans are left to speculate, debate, and analyze every tidbit of information, knowing that the right hire could transform the offense into a dynamic, top-tier unit, while the wrong one could replicate past frustrations. As February approaches, the anticipation is palpable, and the stakes have never been higher for this critical choice in Philadelphia. While the offensive coordinator search dominates the conversation, it's impossible to ignore how recent player moves, like Brian Daboll signing with the Tennessee Titans, affect perceptions around Philadelphia. Daboll's choice wasn't just about the roster or the city. It was deeply influenced by relationships within the coaching staff and the kind of control certain figures exert behind the scenes. According to reports, Daboll was intrigued by the possibility of reuniting with familiar quarterbacks and working in a big city environment, but ultimately, the trust and friendship he has with Robert Saleh tipped the scales. That decision sends a clear message. Even talented coaches weigh staff dynamics and internal hierarchies as heavily as player talent when choosing where to work. For the Eagles, this highlights the importance of creating an environment that is both welcoming and empowering for incoming coordinators. The lingering presence of Kevin Patullo in Philadelphia has become a recurring topic. In this conversation, Patullo's influence is considered by many as a double-edged sword. On one hand, he contributed to the Eagles' Super Bowl victory and is seen as a stabilizing presence within the coaching staff. On the other hand, his level of control may dissuade ambitious offensive minds from joining the team, especially those who want full autonomy over their schemes and personnel decisions. There's a growing consensus that if the Eagles truly want to attract top-tier coaching talent, they might need to rethink internal dynamics, including the roles and authority of existing staff members. The challenge lies in balancing respect for proven contributors like Patullo, while also giving new hires the freedom to innovate and make impactful decisions. Meanwhile, Matt Nagy continues to emerge as a leading candidate for the offensive coordinator role, largely because he represents both familiarity and experience. He has a history with Philadelphia and has operated under the tutelage of Andy Reid, which aligns with the team's current offensive philosophy. His time with the Chicago Bears showcased his ability to manage and develop quarterbacks, even in challenging situations. While his record has had its ups and downs, his practical knowledge of play calling, quarterback development, and offensive design makes him a safe, steady option for a team navigating transition. For Eagles fans seeking stability and a coach who understands the organization's culture, Nagy represents a reassuring choice. However, the allure of younger, innovative minds like Davis Webb cannot be overlooked. Webb's experience in Denver, particularly his creative passing concepts and ability to maximize limited personnel, positions him as a candidate who could introduce a new level of unpredictability and excitement to the Eagles' offense. His innovative approach could complement the team's existing strengths, allowing quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts to explore more dynamic options while still operating within a structured system. Bringing in a coach like Webb might carry some risk, given his limited experience as a full-time coordinator, but the potential upside is significant. His presence could energize the offense, introduce fresh ideas, and challenge opposing defenses in ways that more traditional hires may not. The debate between safety and innovation is further complicated by other names emerging from the league. Tanner Estrogen, formerly of the Jets, has become a talking point due to his firing, which many argue was undeserved. Jets fans and analysts highlight that his offense struggled not because of poor coaching, but due to a lack of talent at key positions, including quarterback, wide receiver, and offensive line. Despite these challenges, he managed to create schemes that gave players opportunities to succeed, demonstrating both creativity and adaptability. If the Eagles were able to bring in a coach with Estrogen's mindset, combined with their current roster, the potential for explosive offensive growth could be substantial. His firing also serves as a reminder of how context is critical when evaluating coaching talent. Numbers and win-loss records don't always tell the full story. As this search continues, the interplay between offensive philosophy, player development, and staff dynamics remains at the forefront. The Eagles must carefully consider how each candidate aligns with both the head coach's vision and the broader organizational goals. Hiring a coordinator isn't just about experience. It's about compatibility, trust, and the ability to implement a cohesive strategy that maximizes the team's potential. Every decision sends a signal to players, staff, and fans about the direction the franchise is taking. This scrutiny makes the ongoing interviews and evaluations crucial, as the right choice could elevate the Eagles to sustained offensive excellence, while the wrong move could result in stagnation or regression. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. What began as a routine press conference has quickly turned into the loudest whisper of the season. Around the league, Jalen Hurts, usually measured and controlled in public, stunned reporters by raising his voice and declaring, "I'm tired of losing," a sentence that instantly ignited speculation about his future with the Eagles. The moment, replayed and dissected endlessly, is now being treated less as an emotional outburst and more as a signal flare from a franchise quarterback who may have reached his breaking point. Around the league, executives and agents are reading between the lines. Hurts did not explicitly name destinations or accuse teammates, but his demand for immediate change, according to those present, sounded to some like a veiled trade request. In NFL circles, tone often matters more than wording, and the tone suggested deep frustration with the current direction of the team. The Eagles, long viewed as stable at the most important position in sports, suddenly find themselves at the center of a rumor storm inside the locker room. Sources suggest the reaction has been mixed. Some veterans reportedly sympathize with Hurts' competitiveness and hunger, while others worry that public frustration could fracture an already tense environment. The front office now faces a delicate balancing act: reaffirm commitment to their quarterback while calming speculation that grows louder by the hour. Speculation about potential suitors has already begun, fueled by teams quietly monitoring the situation. No concrete talks have been confirmed, but the mere idea of Hurts becoming available has sent shockwaves through the league. Whether this episode becomes a turning point that forces organizational change, or the opening chapter of an unthinkable separation, remains uncertain. What is clear is that the Eagles are in crisis mode. And the silence that follows may speak even louder than the shout that started it all. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.